Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Caitlin with Lucky 13 Creations Company, and welcome to this week's vlog. So this week, this intro is coming to you a little later. I was actually on travel for work. I went to Fort Worth, so you're probably going to see a smattering of Stockyards photos here in a minute because I thought it was really cool. But because of that, I spent a lot of time on an airplane this week, and since I'm still very uncomfortable filming on airplanes, I have no footage of anything I did while on the airplane. But I like to make mesh bags, little market bags while I'm on the plane because it's a recipe, it is a pattern that I know really well. I don't have to look at it, I don't have to review it, nothing like that, so I can just go. So between the flight there and back, I actually accomplished, most of a new little mesh bag. So I've got the starts of the handles and I'm starting to go around the second time. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a really cute bag for Easter. So all I have left to do is the strap. So I'll probably finish that tonight and bring you along for it. But we're real close to done. So I had a great time in Fort Worth. It was so much fun checking out the stockyards, seeing the longhorns, seeing the little tourist traps. I love them, they're fun to walk through. And but now I'm home and we've got more work to do. Let's take a little photograph tour of my Fort Worth adventure. This first piece was a walkover from the parking lot over the stock pens to the stockyards themselves. Aren't the residents of those pens adorable? This is Billy Bob's. It's one of the biggest bars in Texas, if not the country, I believe. I had no idea that the American Paint Horse Association was based out of the stockyards. So, of course, I had to take pictures because Oakley is my paint horse. I also have always wanted to see the Will Rogers Coliseum. So, I went and saw the NCHA Super Stakes. But obviously, when in Rome, I had to see the Tandy Leather in Fort Worth and their flagship store. So you can see here that I got a good little bit this bag done on my trip to DFW, but I wanted to keep working on it on the way home because that's a good few hours of keep just straight work time. That's so easy to get into the zone. And then, like I said in the intro, once I got home, I just wanted to finish that bag, so I didn't have another whip to record. All right, got 3 rows done and 4 more to go in this bag. We'll just need a tag and then it's done. I really want to finish it tonight so it does not fall into the whip world. I don't want any more whips. Not right now. I have plenty. 4 more. Let's go. I'm watching Kelsey and Brooke's live stream from a few days ago. I pretend they keep me company. Like I have friends.
Is it like a unique texture?
I did manage to finish that bag later that night on an adventure that Scott and I went on. He drove and I got to be a passenger princess and it was fabulous. Hi, it's tomorrow and it is an absolutely beautiful day. This is Oakley in case you guys haven't met before. Oakley, YouTube family. YouTube family, Oakley. So today's project, I want to build a high tie for the horses. Just a high level string that'll come down and they can move in all the directions so they are safe while they're tying up. Hi, sweetheart. nothing. But the first thing we have to do is I've got to measure out what I would want my would-be arena to be, because all of these things have to place in the yard just so that way it all fits and everything stays safe and the horses have room to run around. Do you want to wear the hat? Hi, baby. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to walk out into the pen and kind of measure out the requirements of what a would-be arena would be and see what room is left over, where it is, or any adjustments we may need to make to the property. So that's what we're going to do next. Time to go measure. She's going to help, I can guarantee it. Through here, we are just measuring the length and width of the arena and trying to just get a rough idea of the dimensions that it would be and where it would fall on this piece of the property so that we can get a good mental image of it and make sure that our future plans aren't interrupted by something that we're doing today. At this point, we have a rough estimate of where we want our 3 poles to be, but we are verifying where the horses would stand within those 3 poles, roughly how long they are, how much wiggle room they have, and just trying to get the best fit and distances so that everyone stays safe.
Our tie thingy, I don't know what to call it, the whole thing, 54 inches long.
The drop down?
The drop down is 54 inches.
Fantastic, we'll call it the drop down.
Okay, drop down is 54 inches long. I want to put slack for about 6 inches of sag in the line, which
You're going to put in slack in the line?
not on purpose, but
Oh,
when they
you're going to allow for
for it,
6
yeah.
inches of...
Yeah,
Okay.
which makes the math really simple because conveniently that's 60 inches, which is exactly 5 feet.
Correct.
So we want their heads to be 4.5 feet off the ground.
Keep in mind, this chain is not going directly to their halter. We are tying off to this thing. I was supposed to buy a ring. Like there's supposed to be a ring that goes on the end of that. So I can tie the rope there.
Okay.
Because we want, the rope is the quick release. We don't want them hard chained to anything ever. So you can make it high and taunt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, let's reframe, because I did not make this clear to you. Hole proof.
Okay.
Because now we're talking about lowering and lowering the pipes. We don't want them low. We don't want them excessively tall, but like, okay. Hole 1,
Mm-hmm.
hole 2, we're ignoring.
Yeah.
We want this cable, what is this called again? I forgot.
Turnbuckle.
The turnbuckle. We want this cable tight.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna put a nut, a nut, I don't know what it's actually called, cable nut I think it's called.
Cable clamp.
And then we're gonna have the drop down.
Mm-hmm.
The drop down there's a keychain clippy there, there's a keychain clippy here. I want to put a ring here, and if I didn't buy it, I meant to.
Okay.
Because we're gonna have Pony actually, that's goofy. Pony's gonna be on the ground.
There.
And their little halter.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a rope tied through here, so we have our quick release daisy chain.
That changes everything.
Yes,
Okay.
it does. Because we don't want this, we want this low enough I can reach it, but we don't want it so low that they can paw over chain. So this can be 12 feet, this can be 15
As
feet.
long as you can reach the ring.
Right,
That makes a huge difference. Okay.
yes,
Good to know.
sorry.
And now with that redesign complete, we're back outside after lunch. Scott redesigned the length he wanted for the poles. He cut out 16-foot poles with the intent to sink 4 foot of that pole. That way we would have 12 feet above the ground and plenty beneath. That way it would not give or fall or anything. Scott and I actually had the audacity to think that we would finish a construction project the same day we started it, forgetting the number one rule of construction projects, which is if you haven't gone to Home Depot, Lowe's, or your hardware store at least 3 times, your project is not complete. We were prepping to use this auger right here. It's a 2-man auger, and foreshadowing, it just didn't work. It didn't work at all. We got about 1.5 feet down on each hole, but our sandy soil turned to clay at that depth, and our force alone, we just could not bust through it, and this auger was beating the tar out of our sides. We tried everything we could think of with the tools we had at the time, but this just didn't cut it. It was a whole thing into the night.
It's Sunday. This video is supposed to go up today, but as we speak, Scott's coming home with our new tool, which hopefully will work better than last night's auger. Which what happened is we were digging down and we hit like a clay almost. It's a sandy clay here, but it was still more than we could get a downward force on for ourselves. So let's begin today's adventures. Hope this next tool works as well as we hope.
The advice from the old guy at Home Depot is if you had holes you were having trouble with, to pour a little bit of water into each of them. I don't know if it actually helped or just turned things into sludge, but we tried.
did it! Yes! Alright, now we gotta get the 12 inch obviously, but
We were so excited. Scott had been so frustrated the night before. But I'll tell you, I think the trick that helped us the most was one that I stole from Jasmine, whose channel is Barefoot Wanderer. She's building her own container house, and her clay is miserable to work through. And I watched her video where she took a tiny auger that fit on her drill bit and slowly built up the size of the auger until she could get her foundation screws into the ground. And I just pretended I was cool like her and stole her hard work and thought process for this. We started with a 10-inch bit and then moved to the 12 that we need. And I think it made a world of difference for our dig.
Finally! Huzzah! We have holes dug! Ah!
While I clean these auger bits, you can get a first look at my original patience pole that I tried to build, and it just isn't exactly what I wanted for the horses in the end. This is the first time we have ever rented the concrete mixer. Every job that we've done before now, we've only been able to fit like 3 bags of concrete into the wheelbarrow and get it all mixed up by hand. This made such light work of this task. We used 7 bags of concrete per post, and we had this first post set in 15 minutes. We had all 3 posts set within an hour. And the construction day would not be complete without the cuddle terror coming and demanding her hugs and cuddles. And that'll be all for this week, friends. We've done as much as we can do. We've got all our posts set. We just need to let the concrete set up. It's a 30-minute quick cure, but we're going to give it at least a day or two to get fully solid and fully cured before we start banging on the tops of these posts. So thanks so much for hanging out with us. Like and subscribe for more content like this, and follow along so you can see how we finish out these high ties. See you next time. Bye. Being site manager is really the hardest job here.